What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates every single day on Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and the Dow Jones Industrial. We also look at that to get a feel for what's going on in the traditional markets. Don't forget, we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. I do believe we are going to have a huge move, most likely this week. We're going to take a look at that. Definitely stick around. Should be a good video. And yeah. All right, guys, always remember, read the disclaimer on the bottom. This is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Always do your own due diligence. And remember, this is my opinion, not yours. All right, we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin headlines just to get a kind of a feel for the sentiment, see if the headlines are more bearish than bullish, and just kind of get a feel for that. Bitcoin whales suggest Bitcoin price will crash. Halving's already priced in, he's saying. So that's bearish. New stock flow forecast puts average Bitcoin price at 288,000 by 2024. Bullish. Fear for sustained Bitcoin correction sparks a frantic gold rush. Bitcoin having a new class of Bitcoin millionaires may arrive. Bitcoin not a safe haven, but maybe something more. On-chain metrics paint bullish Bitcoin price picture. Bitcoin markets hide vast risk-free profits, study shows. Chinese city known for Bitcoin mining seeks blockchain industry to help consume excessive hydroelectricity. So anyways, it's kind of still mixed in the news. Let's look at the fear and greed index. We're at 27, 1 point up from yesterday, still in fear. We are out of the extreme fear, so we are rising. People are getting a little more confident. I am not confident in the price right now. Although, if you guys watch the channel, you know I'm a long-term bull. I totally am a believer in Bitcoin. As of right now, I still am bearish though. And I'll show you why. The monthly, the 8 EMAs still sitting at 78.45 area. We have broken out of this channel in the monthly. If we can close out here in the monthly, it may be, it may be a good sign, but I still believe we would most likely come back and test this trend line, which is going to be around the $6,800 range. But we'll take a look at the targets and see what's going on. We also have the 55 EMA still down here at 48.50. I do want to remind you guys, check out my wife's webpage, inkyourimage.com. There's a link below in the description. I'll also put one in the pinned comment. She does aluminum signs, t-shirts, coffee mugs, hats. There's also long sleeve tees, hoodies. All you got to do is hit her up in the contact to ask for those. But she can put any crypto you want. Doesn't have to be what you see. Any family picture, any saying, anything on them that you would like. So I appreciate everybody that's been checking out her webpage and supporting the channel. All right, let's look at the weekly. So as you can see, I still have these lower targets down here. It's not saying they're going there. I'm just showing you guys the possibilities. This white trend line on the bottom here, if we came back down to retest that, which would also retest this trend line here, would be around the $2,500 to $2,600 range. And then I have the worst case scenario here at around 1,030, between 1,000 and 1,100. And that's just a measured move, measuring this here as a flag pull, this being a bear flag. And if we were to break down here, somewhere in the $1,000 to $1,100 range. Again, guys, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying keep in mind that is a possibility. Let's take a look at the EMAs on the weekly. We are getting rejected at the 55 EMA right now at 7,500. I also have this strong resistance at just below 8,000. We could get a wick up there and, crash back down. But the EMAs are looking bullish. They are turning up. The 55 here, the 21 is turning up. If that does cross, we may get a boost up. I guess if we want to look at the bullish case here, and look at this as a falling broadening wedge and do a measured move. If we were to break up past this $9,300 range, we obviously there's a trend line here to get some resistance around the 10.5. But if we were able to break up, and this is a falling broadening wedge, we could have a target of around $15,800 range. I'm a little less confident in that, but again, keep in mind it is possible. We are going to see a big move here soon. As you can see in this pink, I have this big price label at 8,061, and that is, as of right now, the top of this rising wedge that I've been watching. Let's take a look at, we also have the 200 EMA on the daily right around the 7,885 range. As you guys know, I've pointed out before, I've made this trend line here on the bottom of all these wicks over here. I cloned it and I put one on each one of the top of these wicks up here. Actually, this one needs to move down a little. There we go. And as we went through, they were resistance. I'll zoom in so you guys can see it here. As we went up, we caught resistance, then it became support. Resistance became support. The top line resistance, and then became support. We broke back through, tried to break back above it, did not quite make it. It became resistance. And this, we just broke straight back through, came to the bottom of all three again, and now we are back inside them. So, guess you could say that it is bullish as of now, but until we break this top trend line here, actually it's a little bit lower than that, somewhere around the 8,060 range. If we break above that, and especially close a daily above that, guys, then I get really bullish, and we will take a look at the measured moves for that. But as of right now, this is in the daily. Let's go down to the 4 hour. As you can see, I have my, I'll show you real quick these targets. This one here being measuring this as a flagpole, although I think it would be up here, which would get us down to that $1,000 range. But if we did a measured move, this as the flagpole here, and we break down within the next, sometime this week, my target would be the $3,400 range. But as you guys know, if you watch the channel, my main target that I'm still looking for, unless we break above this golden pocket zone, which we could go, I guess, as high as 8,200. I don't think it would go that high. I would look for a rejection before then. But if we did break that, that would knock out all these lower targets that I've been watching. So, but as of right now, 5,400. If you guys are interested in trading, I think there's a very good trade opportunity coming, whether we break this bottom trend line or this top trend line. I'll leave a Prime XBT tutorial up top. Definitely check it out. You can trade a lot of stuff on Prime XBT besides just the Bitcoin market. You can actually use your Bitcoin to trade the Dow, S&P 500, oil, gold, silver, all kinds of commodities, Forex. You can trade a lot of stuff on there, so definitely check it out, guys. And if you use my promo codes below, Savy50, you get a 50% bonus on top of your deposit. And if you use Savy25, you get 25% off of your fees. So check it out. And there's also some other links down there. There is Bybit and Dudex. Dudex has a pretty cool feature, money management feature, risk management. Check it out if you're new. But yeah, check them out. Each one of them has, you know, pros and cons to them. I use all three of the exchanges. You may want to check them all out, see which one works for you, what style trading you want to do. So they all have bonuses too, so definitely check them out. They're below, and I'll leave them in the pinned comment. So like I said, the 8,061 is, well, between 8,050 and 8,100, somewhere in that range. I would expect a big rejection. As you can see, this top trend line here. Like I said, I'm still bearish. This still looks like a bearish sign to me. We will take a look at some other targets. If I take this line right here, you know, a lot of people are looking at this as a, let me move this out of the way, as a rising channel instead of the rising wedge that I'm looking at it. The reason I'm looking at it as a rising wedge, if we look here, this is where the first major burst of volume came, and as you can see, we are declining in volume. And if we look over here, this is where the channel starts. This is where the wedge starts. That's why I do believe it's a wedge. But I will take measured moves of the channel too, so you guys can see them. If we were to break up today, break the top of this channel, the measured move of that's about 9,400, between 93 and 9,400. And if we broke down the measured move, depending on where we break down, guys, this could be a slow move down, but that would get us to my target of the 5,400, which is also the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement. If you can see these white prices in here, these are just Fibonacci retracements. As you can see, this one is the 0.236. This is 0.382, 0.5, and you can't quite see that one. This is the golden pocket zone. That's the 0.618, and the 0.65 is at 82. And then we have the 0.786 at 91. So that's what the white ones are, if you guys are wondering. But as of right now, guys, like I said, I'm still bearish unless we break this top trend line. It's the only thing that's going to turn me bullish. And then, you know, we could come up as high as testing. As you can see, this rising broadening wedge that we broke out of over here. We could come all the way up, I suppose, and test the top of this around the $10,000 range. Again, I don't see that happening unless we break this 80. If we break this top trend line, guys, all my lower targets are off the table for now. Then I will have to take a look at the charts. But as I was saying with the volume here, I believe it is a falling wedge and not a rising channel because of the fact, like I said, where it started. And it started right here at this candle, which would make it a rising wedge, in my opinion. All right, let's look at 4 hour. Same thing in the 4 hour, guys. We are getting a little rise right now. As of making this video, we're at about 77.56. And I have also made this trend line here. Let me zoom out a little bit. This white trend line off of these two wicks here, which matches up pretty good with the 0.618 and the top of this rising wedge here. So like I said, that's around the 80-60, right in that range somewhere. Depending on what exchange you're on, it's going to be a little bit different. This is Coinbase that we're looking at. I do want to look at the daily RSI real quick. And this is something we had been looking at since way back here, and I'd said it would possibly form a inverse head and shoulders, which looks like it has. Looks like we do have room for another move up to retest the top of this before breakdown. And like I said, that would probably get us up in this range. So keep an eye out for that. Let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour RSIs. We are riding on top of all of them right now. So that is bullish. If we break below, then we could be heading towards our downward area. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying it could go up, could go down. My main concern right now is this top trend line and this bottom trend line. Whichever one we break, that's the direction we're headed. I will be longing at a break of this. I will be shorting at a break of this. I will actually short if we get a good rejection up here. So, but that's where I'm at, guys. You guys seen the targets. 5,400 is still my, where I'm keeping my eye out for. And let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour looks like a symmetrical triangle in the 4 hour, and we do have room to come up and test this one more time. Now, I said this yesterday, if we close a 4 hour above this trend line, then I do believe we're going to go up much higher, and that'll probably be breaking this area. So keep that in mind, but it has to close a 4 hour with the RSI out, because it can pop up here before the close of the 4 hour and then come back down and be below. So keep that in mind if you're watching that. Let's look at Litecoin. Same thing we've been watching, guys. Litecoin and Bitcoin seem to be lagging in the wedge compared to Ethereum, which Ethereum has already tested the top, could get another run up. If Ethereum breaks this, that could be a clue that Bitcoin and Litecoin are going to follow. Let's take a look at the measured moves. And if we measure the wedge here, go up to around 262. If we are to break this $205 area, I would be looking for, actually, depending on where we hit this, you know, it could go as high as 210, but looking at the 205 area, if we break that, we could be heading towards the 262, although we have the same trend line here as we have in Bitcoin, and that would be around the $240 range, where I would expect some resistance. Maybe we come back down and test the top of this wedge before continuing up if we break this. The measured move down, guys, depending on where we break down at, it's going to be around the 113 range. I also have target looking at this as a flagpole, this as a big bear flag, and what would that get us to? Around the $30 range. And if we go all the way back, go into the daily, you can see that would be right around the breakout time of 2017. So definitely a possibility. Like I said, guys, I'm not saying it's going there. Until we break this wedge, we are pretty much in limbo, unless you're in the smaller time frames trading that. But yeah, the daily on Ethereum looks pretty bullish. You got the 200 EMA here. The 8 is already crossed. 13 is crossed. 21 looking to cross now. If that happens, could be a huge move up. Just be careful, guys. This is a crazy range. And like I said, Litecoin and Bitcoin have not, they're not in the same position on Ethereum. Could Ethereum be leading the way? Definitely a possibility. Also have lower targets for Litecoin. If we were to break down with Litecoin, we'd be looking around the 24. And that's a break of that $42 range. And if we looked at this as a bear flag, could be going down to the $18 range. But again, the bullish case scenario, if we were to come up here and able to break the top of this rising wedge, which is going to be around the $53 range, my target's going to be more around the $70 range, which obviously old support and resistance. It actually looked like a inverse head and shoulders here that broke, and that would be retesting the neckline. We'll see what happens there, guys. Anything's possible at this point. So just be careful, be cautious out there. Let's look at Ethereum's RSI. See if that tells us anything. Same thing in a symmetrical triangle here. May get another push up before breaking down. Pre-markets on the Dow Jones. Let me refresh this real quick. Right now we're up in the pre-markets almost $350, which is 1.4%. Let's look at my targets on the Dow Jones. If you have not seen it, guys, these are what I'm looking at. I am looking at this as a rising wedge, and the lines could change on this. This is the 4-hour chart. Whoops. But how I have it as of right now is looking at this as a rising wedge and a break from the rising wedge. My target is 19.7. We could come up, retest the top of this wedge, which is also 200 EMA on the 4-hour, which also lines up with the 0.618. And let's see, that would be right around, let me tone that down a little bit. Let's do this, go down to 20. So right around the 25-240 would be retesting this wedge before continuation down. But as you can see right now, we are getting rejection at the 0.382 fib of this whole big move. I do want to look at the measured moves we've had here for a while for a breakdown of this rising channel where we broke out of. And that gets us down to about the 17.2. If that doesn't hold, if we make it down here, which I still believe we will, and that does not hold, I have a measured move. If you look at this pink line as the support, white line as resistance, we have a megaphone pattern here. We have broken back up in it, but I still think if we break this 17.2, we would be looking at 91 and 92. Now, I know a lot of guys are saying this looks like a V bottom. I don't buy it, guys. The economy is not doing good enough. I understand they can print tons of money, but eventually that's going to end up biting in the ass. And I do believe a lot of people are going to get suckered in here. Now, you know, this could be the disbelief stage, and I'm in disbelief that this is a true rally, but I have lots of reason to believe that this is not a true rally, and I do think it's still a sucker's rally, and people are going to get wrecked in here buying into the market. But that's my opinion, not yours. Do your own due diligence. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Leave your comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please share the video, get it out there if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you later.